Hi everyone, I want to talk today a little bit about diversity. We have our Jubilee Plus conference coming up on the 16th of November in Stoke Gifford, so right here in Bristol. We're going to kind of help to host that conference, very excited about that. And that's a conference which helps churches really embrace diversity, embrace kind of social issues. And how does the church cope with that? How does the church go about serving the more disadvantaged in its community? And we are a church who has begun a journey to do that. Now, why would we want to do that? I mean, it seems like objectively a good thing to do, but actually there's good biblical reasons why we might want to do that. And I suppose at the heart of it all would be Jesus himself. Now, Jesus, when he chose his disciples, he chose a very diverse group of people, which in some ways is a bit of a surprise, because you think if you wanted to get a job done, you'd get a group of like-minded people together who would very quickly kind of gel, and then you could get on with the task in hand. And Jesus doesn't do that at all. Jesus has a tax collector and a zealot, and he has doctors, and he invites women into the room, and all kinds of things which would, in his day particularly, have been very radical, and a great surprise to other teachers and leaders, or rabbis, really, who would have gathered groups around them. He was very different. And so he puts together working class people and kind of professionals, as it were, and hated people in their community and very loved people, and then throw in a bunch of fishermen as well. And he says, like, this is the team we're going to change the world with. And he makes a team out of this diverse group of people. They would have argued, we know they argued because we read about it, but those arguments wouldn't have only been the ones we read about, because they would have disagreed about almost everything. You've got a tax collector who was in league pretty much with the Romans. And then you've got a zealot who was, one step away from murdering kind of Roman soldiers. And there is a team that Jesus puts together. And why? Because God loves them all, and he made them. And actually at the end of the Bible in Revelation, you see before the throne a great crowd that no one can number. And what it says about that crowd is they are from every nation, tribe, and tongue. Every possible layer of diversity is represented before God. And that's the final number. That's the final group that God wins, that Jesus wins and pulls together. And what are they doing? They are worshipping. And what that means is this. It means that our worship is not complete without every nation, tribe, and tongue. We can't effectively, finally, and we won't effectively and finally worship the way we should without all of those voices, all of those perspectives, all of that together worshipping Jesus. We need each other to complete Jesus' worship. That's what the Bible teaches. It's what Jesus began with his group of disciples. And it's what we should and want to strive to be as a church. Now that represents challenges at every layer and every level. It makes us feel uncomfortable sometimes because people do things differently to us. If you've travelled a bit, you'll know that. And the challenge for us, I suppose, is that different is not wrong. It's just different. And there are things to learn from each other. There are challenges for our own culture that we need to receive from cultures far and wide. And that is a privilege and an honour to receive that. And if we can do that big-heartedly with real grace, we'll become the kind of diverse church that worships Jesus in spirit and in truth. That final number gathered before the throne, worshipping God. So I encourage you, come to this conference, find out more about how churches can do that. And if you can't make it to the conference, then get involved with some of the social action that we're doing. We've named them many times. There's Street Life, there's City Hands. There are so many things. The website will tell you more about them. But please, do something to demonstrate your part in this diverse community.